Good evening, friends. As you are aware, the Election Commission has issued a notification for the elections of 10 Rajya Sabha members in Uttar Pradesh and one in Uttarakhand. The elections to the Rajya Sabha are held biennially every 2 years, as it has a fixed tenure of 6 years, and one third of its members retire every third year. So that candidates who were elected in 2014, they will be retiring on 25th of November. So as on date, the UP, which sends the most number of candidates to the Rajya Sabha, because it's being the most populous state, and 31 seats are there for Uttar Pradesh. See, the calculation for the elections to the Rajya Sabha is very simple. You have to calculate the total number of the strength of the assembly. So as on date, the total strength of the assembly in Uttar Pradesh is 403, and 7 seats are vacant owing to the death of the candidates, or some have been elected to the Lok Sabha, or some have been they have been expelled, or they have lost their membership due to criminal cases which they have been convicted. So total number of assembly seats is 403, 7 is vacant. So the total number of members who will be eligible to cast their vote, the member of legislative assembly, the MLA, is 396. So and the total number of seats is 10. So the calculation is you have to add 10 plus 1, 11. So you have to divide 396 by 11. So that it becomes 36, and add 1 plus 1, so 37. So 37 votes will be required to get elected to a Rajya Sabha. So the strength of the BJP as on date is 306. So if you multiply 37 into 8, it becomes 296. So BJP can very easily get 8 seats. Now it has 10 surplus votes, and apart from that it has a friendly party in Apna Dal which has 9 seats and 3 independent MLAs. So 22 extra votes BJP has. Apart from this, there are few rebel candidates, rebel MLAs in the Congress camp, including Mrs. Aditi Singh, who is an MLA from Rai Bareli. So she has rebelled against the Congress party, and in all probability she will be contesting the next assembly elections on a BJP ticket. The strength of Samajwadi Party is 48, BSP is 18, and then one more small regional party, Suheldev Rajbhar Party, which has 4. So if BJP plays its card well, then it can very well be able to win the 9th seat also. So in all probability, maximum 9, minimum 8, and Uttarakhand, since BJP has got an overwhelming majority, so it is supposed to, it will get its candidate elected without any contest. So in all, 8 plus 1, 9 or 10. Now, why it is very significant? We have to understand why these elections are very significant. See, since 1984, no coalition or no ruling party has enjoyed a majority in both houses of the parliament. So in NDA 1 and NDA 2, while the BJP and NDA has got an overwhelming majority, so say 330 to 350 seats, in Rajya Sabha it has struggled to have a simple majority. So much so that in the first NDA 1 government, many of the bills were sabotaged, they were not passed, there were a lot of pandemonium and lot of delays in passing the critical bills. As you are aware, the most important was the land acquisition bill, which failed to see the light of the day, and there are daily pandemoniums, dharnas, and they are shouting on the well. These things, that was a show of strength from the part of the government, the opposition party, since they were in minority in Lok Sabha, and in Rajya Sabha, since they enjoyed majority, so they held the government hostage, they held the house hostage, and many of the crucial bills could not be passed in time, and it was delayed owing to the reason that the ruling party and the ruling coalition was a minority in the Rajya Sabha. So the complexion of the Rajya Sabha is significantly going to change. Why so? So as on date, BJP has 85 members and one member who unfortunately passed away from Karnataka due to COVID. So if we assume 86 current seats, and then there will be addition of at least 7 seats, so 93. And as on date, the strength of NDA is around 112. And post the addition of this, the strength of NDA will be at least 119, 120, and it has friendly parties in the opposition in the form of YSR, CP, Biju Janata Dal, AIA, DMK, and many other parties who have from time to time they have supported the government in passing the crucial bills, including the Article 370 abrogation bill, Triple Talaq bill, the Citizen Amendment Act bill, and the latest one, the Agriculture bill. So in all probability, the ruling party and the ruling coalition, they will be enjoying a good numbers both in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha, they will be getting a simple majority, which is 123, because they have 7 nominated members also on their side, and some support from the friendly party. So if we add all these things, so the strength becomes somewhere close to around 135 to 140. And next year, Assam and Bengal will have West Bengal will have fresh assembly elections, and in all probability, BJP is going to do very well as compared with the 2016 assembly polls. So there will be a further addition to the numbers in the Rajya Sabha. So this will help the present dispensation to pass the bills, pass the important legislative bills, and there won't be much of the delay. And the Rajya Sabha, which was held hostage due to the numerical supremacy of the opposition, hopefully it will not see that much of a disruption, and many of the important bill will see the light of the day. Of course, debates, discussions, confabulations, dissent, these are an essential part of democracy, but democracy cannot be thwarted and derailed just because the opposition is in strength, because at the end of the day, it is the party which has won the popular mandate, winning elections and getting 350 plus Lok Sabha seats. They should be allowed to pass the bills, and they should not be held hostage in the Rajya Sabha. So thank you.